What's up, Chooms? Doing JonJonTheWise here, and I'm doing a live chat, you guys. It's been a while since I've done this. I did not mean to go into portrait mode. I meant to go in landscape, but alas, here we are. Got some people in chat already. We got Zergash and Bronx. Zergash has a nice question there. We'll get to it soon. Good to see you guys here. First, before we get into it today, we're going to be talking. I just wanted to chat with you guys a little bit about the open gaming license stuff that's going on with D&D. I know I usually don't talk about that kind of thing. I don't really express that kind of thing. It's not really the kind of content I make. But, you know, a lot of us are talking about it, and it would be cool to have a discussion about it and talk about what that means for the future of Cyberpunk. Because what affects D&D affects everyone. That's what we're finding out. That's how Paizo was created. That's how all these things happened in our lifetime. So it's good to talk about it. Of course, if you guys are just checking out this video, make sure you guys go onto our Discord community. The link should be in the description below. Had a big delay on the start of the stream. Yeah, I started early. Sorry about that, Bronx. I just wanted to start early because I was ready. So I'm like, hey, I'm ready. I'm just going to start right now. But basically, oh, by the way, let me put on Do Not Disturb. Turn off work, get things done. Do Not Disturb on. There we go. All right, we should be good. Yeah, so, you know, Discord community, links in the description below. Follow me on social media at JonJonTheWise. And of course, if you want to help out the Patreon, patreon.com/JonJonTheWise, that is the best way to do it. All right, guys. So, Chooms, the in my group, they especially at starting character creation, they don't have the juice on the other characters do. So the fixers be trying to come up. You know, I always have another fixer that's more famous, that's more reputable, be like their kind of older brother or mentor. So if you have a fixer in your group, they're definitely a fixer. You want to give them some kind of like network and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, that's it. If you get connection, it dropped out for a second. So let me know if you guys are back. Let me know if you guys caught all that I talked about just now with the fixer. So yeah, I would recommend having like a more reputable fixer that pays the players and stuff like that. And then maybe that fixer is taking your player fixer under their wing. And maybe your player fixer tries to undercut them and stuff like that. So that's what I would recommend. Make sure, let me know, thumbs up in chat if you guys can hear me, if everything is okay, if we're all caught up. We might lose each other every now and then. One. And then we'll talk more. We'll talk OGL. All right, we got one thumbs up from Javier. Welcome, Javier. He wants to be a nomad fixer from his network. I would place him more into a role if he knows someone who knows someone. Yeah, I mean, that's what a fixer is. Fixers, like any other business, they work with people within their business. If you have a construction business, you know other construction contractors. It's the same thing with fixers. If you're a fixer, you know other fixers. And sometimes you guys share clientele. Sometimes you guys backstab each other. Most of the time you try not to. And you help each other. So it would make sense for your player character to know other fixers and to have good relationships with some and have bad relationships with others. That's all up to you. And it's all up to your player how they want to deal with that. So anyway, let's talk OGL, Open Gaming License. I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the matter. First of all, for those of you that are unfamiliar with what the current drama is with D&D and the Open Gaming License, the Open Gaming License for D&D has been basically you can do whatever you want. You can make any adventure. You can make stat blocks. You can make it look like D&D, sound like D&D, play like D&D, and then you can sell it online and make money from it. That's it. Like, it's pretty unprecedented. But basically, you can do all that. What is this guy? Why is this guy parked right next to me? For what? Anyway, the that's what the ruling has been with D&D, that you can basically just do whatever you want. You can sell it online, make money. That's how Critical Role came about, and that's how I believe Paizo came about. Ooh. That's how Paizo. Why there's so RPG.com, and if you just go anywhere, if you throw a product that was made by somebody, what does that mean? That means there's a lot of bad products out there that are terrible, low effort, low quality, but then there's a lot of gems as well. And those people are beloved by their community. They make great content. And what does Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro gain from that? Well, they gain more uh, people in their community buying more of their books, getting more involved with their games, buying dice, buying all this, and that. And it brings to their game, but they see zero money from the sales of those products because of their open gaming license. So, of course, in my mind, I'm like, man, this can't last for long, especially when you're talking about a publicly traded company like Hasbro. And and when they have reported 40% loss in the last year, we all know what corporate greed is like. We play Cyberpunk, we know exactly what it's like. The bottom line is the most important thing. So they're going to start looking at all the things that could possibly make them money, that are not making them money, things that need to be changed, people that need to be fired, people that need to be hired, blah blah blah. A bunch of people sit in a board meeting and they make arbitrary decisions that have nothing to do with artistic merit, have nothing to do with the community. It literally just has to do with doing better next year, period. So, of course, the first thing to hit the table, D&D being one of their biggest products out there, one of their most famous products, probably famous because of things like Critical Role out there that have brought it out to, not probably, it's like definitely because of the OGL that they had, people were able to create things and make money and generate hype behind the game, and that brought in more people into the hobby, and it became one of their biggest products, right? Now, short-sightedly, they're looking at the product and they're thinking to themselves, man, we're really just giving it out like that. You know what I mean? No real stipulations. All these people are making money. We're taking losses. As a short-sighted corporate exec, they're going to think, hey, we got to do something about it right now. Forget about the long run. Forget about the fact that the OGL has brought in people into our community. We need to do something now. And that's the problem with corporate greed, is it's short-sighted. It's never for the long run. It's for fixing things in the now. We live in a world of monetization. We live in a world of crypto and NFTs and all that other baloney. And when it comes to these corporations, they're always trying to figure out how can we innovate our brand to generate more income, period. That's it. So they're looking at gaming. They're looking at all these other avenues, mobile gaming, video games, entertainment, and they're seeing subscription models. So, they try to dip their toes, and they got D&D Beyond, which is a great product from what I've heard. I've never used it, but I've heard it's a really great product. And they're like, okay, we are under monetized. When people heard that, when we all heard them say D&D is highly under monetized, all of us got triggered, because we hate that. We hate anything, and monetization is a bad word, period, to the consumer. It doesn't benefit us in any way. We're giving money for things that we could be getting for free if they let it be free, basically. And but you gotta we also have to be logical about it and understand that if they think like they're leaving money on the table, that they're going to address it, right? Now, in my mind, the question isn't, are they doing the right thing? Are they doing the wrong thing? I think they're making the right business decision. I just think that their execution is terrible. And it's terrible because they're short-sighted and they're out of touch. They don't know anything about D&D. They don't care about D&D. They don't care about the community. They don't care about any of that stuff. They just care about making sure that they innovate their brand in such a way that they can make money. From, you know, just thinking about it, like they're like, we have all these millions of people playing D&D, but we're only making this much amount of money. It's not proportionate. We got to do something about it. So, of course, a corporate exec may have officially said, like, I think this whole thing is under monetized. And I don't think that that's an incorrect statement, to be honest with you. It's a triggering statement. I hate to hear it, especially when it comes from someone that's wearing a suit. All that says to me is like, uh-oh, here we go. Here comes the corporate greed to ruin things. But at its core basis, as a business decision, I believe that it's a correct assessment of the matter. It is under monetized, meaning they could squeeze out more money out of people. That's all I'm saying, is that they could, because people love D&D, and if there's an official product from Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, people are gonna consume it and trust it more than they would an open gaming license product, right? Like I said, I don't like it. I hate it. I'm all about a free society, leaving it open for everybody, open source. I love that. I think that it generates amazing content. It grows a community in a natural way. And it also gives people the opportunity to have a livelihood in their favorite hobby. Okay? But when it comes to, like, as a business decision, the cold-hearted business decision, it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Now, forget about, whether they should change the OGL or not. Sorry to bother you, but now the internet is out. Should I unplug everything or check for an outage? Yeah, it could be an outage, but try unplugging everything and plug it back in. That's the only way we can fix it. Now, before we continue, I just want to catch up with chat a little bit here. Region Vampires, I appreciate your channel. It helped my group understand Cyberpunk. I am their medtech. Great to hear it. Thank you for the support. Doran Connell, the funny thing is Hasbro outsourced Transformers, My Little Pony, and G.I. Joe to Renegade for their RPGs. That is interesting. I didn't know that. Javier, yep, and the new leadership are Microsoft washouts that don't understand the business. Matt Mercer's silence makes me think he's in a legal bind. Yeah, Javier. What's up, Liron? How you doing? It's amazing how much D&D is successful because of people outside of Wizards of the Coast. Yeah, I didn't know that. So talking about Matt Mercer and Critical Role, we're going to get to that. First, let's talk about their execution, right? So supposedly what we know is a document was leaked. I personally think that it was purposely leaked because if they have something, they know that this is going to shake up the community. So instead of, like, actually saying, like, this is what we're going to do, if a document is leaked, then they can gauge what the community response is going to be before they officially make a decision. I know it's a conspiracy theory, but I think that's, like, the best way to do it, to be honest with you, is you just put it out there, you test the waters, you see how people feel about it, and then you can kind of make a decision. And that actually resulted in them, like, supposedly changing some things around, some numbers around and stuff like that. So let's talk about what I know. If there's anything that I missed, let me know in the comments, guys. But basically they said if you make a OGL product and you make more than $50,000 from the product, then you have to $50,000 a year, I believe. Then you have to pay royalties. The royalties are 25%, which is an insane amount. It's a quarter of your profit. Think about taxes too. You got to pay taxes, and then you got to pay another Hasbro tax, basically. And that's, like, basically half or more of your profits are gone because of that. So instead of a quarter of your profits going to taxes, now half of your profits are going out to taxes to two different parties. So that's the thing. So what does that mean? That means that largely most people will be unaffected by it. Most people under $50,000, most people are making under 50 grand a year with their adventures and stuff like that with D&D. So that leaves Wizards of the Coast thinking like, hey, if most people are unaffected by this, then it's only going to be a small minority of content creators that will not have a large enough voice for it to matter. That's what they're thinking logically. They're like, instead of millions of people being affected, it's like 100,000 people being affected, or maybe even less. And their voice is too small for it to matter in the general community. Will be okay. You know what I mean? Now, what does that mean? My speculation, by the way, this is all my speculation. Obviously, it proved that that's incorrect, because those people that are those content creators, they have a large voice. They have they have communities behind them, especially if they've made good content. People are like, I want more of your content. Now you can't make it. You know what I mean? Or you basically have to give them so much money. So what does this say about Critical Role, Dimension 20, all these other bigger brands that have grown because of the OGL? The honest answer is we don't know. They've all been radio silent. They haven't said anything. Whether they've had conversations with Wizards of the Coast in the background or not, we don't know. We can only speculate. But if I were to guess, I would say that the largest content creators when it comes to the OGL got a different deal with Wizards. They got something that's separate. All of them specific to their content creation. Critical Role being probably the ones that got the best deal because they're the biggest brand. So does that mean that that deal has been finalized? I doubt it. I don't think so. I think Mercer and folks are looking at this carefully. They're seeing the backlash throughout the community, and they're like, hey, it doesn't matter what deal they're giving us. If the community doesn't like this, they're not going to support us. You know, they're not going to support us. We're basically like scabs. When there's a strike, we're scabbing. You know, we're over here working with the bad guy because we got a sweet deal, but everybody else got a bad deal. So I don't think that it's within Critical Role's best interest to just take a deal right off the bat and sign it. I think they have to wait and see, basically. And that's why we're getting radio silence from these creators, is because they haven't made a decision yet, because they're waiting to see what happens. And of course, there has been no official OGL decision made by Wizards of the Coast either. There was supposed to be one. It was canceled. The event, it was on Friday the 13th, which is today. It was supposed to be today. It got canceled. But that just proves to you that this is murky waters right now. We have no idea. We're just speculating. The community backlash is happening. Usually when these things happen, corporations, they just pray that it'll go away. It'll happen, everybody will lose steam, and then Player's Handbook 6.0, D&D 6E will come out, or D&D 1, whatever it's called, and everyone will forget about it because they're hyped to play the new D&D game, and then they finally realize, like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be affected by this. Why am I so upset? And then that's exactly what Hasbro wanted from the beginning. You know, they just wanted people to forget about it. And then the top content creators all have their own deals, so they're happy. Their communities are happy. It's the guys in the middle that are pretty much screwed, like me and you. You know, we'll never make it big with D&D OGL. It's just not going to happen. There will be no more Critical Roles. And what does that mean? That means in the long run, D&D will not be as big as it ever got in 5e because of short-sightedness. That's the kind of short-sightedness that corporations have. They don't think to themselves like, we can have another Critical Role. Dimension 20 came after Critical Role. You know, people saw what Critical Role could do. They copied them or did it their own way. And it's proven that if you do it well enough, people will get behind it. You know what I mean? Now, let me catch up with chat. I know a lot of you are talking here, and I don't want to ignore you all. So, hail lobster unbreaded. Yeah, Michael, I'm with you. I like lobster. Liron, I already got that. Doran said, yep, Renegade is making some pretty good games with those licenses too. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Do not trust Wizards of the Coast. They view anyone that thinks different isn't worthy of their games. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know anything about that. Critical Role is in an uncomfortable situation. What's up, Leo? love you, man. Out of all of the third parties successful in terms of contracts with multiple people, yeah, they're a whole machine now. They're a machine. Once we found out how much money they were making on Twitch, everyone was like, "Oh shit." And I'm sure they were like, "Damn, why are you guys putting us out on blast like that?" They were trying to be quietly successful, but that didn't happen. All right, we all know how much money they make now. Excuse me. Ploopy says, "Hey John, just got read for myself. I want to say that your vids have been huge help. Thanks for what you do. Thank you so much for supporting. I appreciate you. Happy gaming." Uh, all of it. Leo says all of it ends up depending on Wizards, which sucks for them. Although Critical Role ditching the D&D Beyond sponsor and going back to Pathfinder would be very funny. I think. Yeah, I don't know if Pathfinder is any better, to be honest with you. Paizo. I don't know if they're as much of a good guy as everybody says they're out to be honest with you. John, what's up, baby? How you doing? They all say they can change the new OGL whenever they want, not as long as they give 30 days notice. Oh yeah, good point, Solatiel Nighttest. They also said that they can like retroactively take the past OGL stuff and claim it, which is that's fucked. So like if you have a product that's on Drive Through RPG right now, people will be able the Wizards will be able to basically claim it, which just so yeah. Not just a lot of other companies out there, Chaosium included, have all announced that they have their own type of OGL or they're working on some kind of OGL, or people have talked about OCR. I don't know the exact, or ORC, something like that. But yeah, that's out there too. All I have to say about that is don't put too much stock into that, I think, because at the end of the day, is it going to be the same thing that OGL D&D is? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that the OGL that Paizo is claiming that they're going to make, or the OGL that Chaosium has, is going to be the exact same comparison to D&D, because D&D's is completely wide open. It was completely wide open. We don't know yet if it will be, but if the other ones have stipulations, we don't know. I just say wait, take it with a grain of salt. I don't think anybody should be they're flying their Paizo flag. I don't think anybody should be flying a Chaosium flag, willy nilly. I think you should put a lot of thought into it, because at the end of the day, they're basically, it's easy for them to pick up on the hype of hating on Wizards because everybody's hating on them. So if you see all these companies going like, "Oh, we're not like them. We're not like them, guys. All right? We're different." You should always look at them with skepticism, because they're basically benefiting off of somebody else's plunder, on somebody else's negativity. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that just yet. Put your money where your mouth is, Paizo, and all those companies. Let's see it. Let's see what it is. Okay, let's see what the stipulations are. Let's see what. Dude, shut up. This watch. Stop. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. That's my corner. Do not make anything OGL work with existing games that will work with you, if that's possible. Dimension 20 and people behind a paywall can no longer do that, so it's stripping them of their personal monetization. Yeah, it's terrible, but unless they have a deal with Wizards, which they might. I wonder if this is just some weird ploy to mess with Wizard of the Coast value for Hasbro taxes. I don't know. If I remember correctly, they can also take your ideas and then use them for themselves unless the wording is weird. Yeah. That's the other thing. It's like they can just claim it and be like, "This is ours. You're using our shit." So we can technically just take it away from you. Luke the Goon, my boy. Shut up, man. I'm just going to take my watch off. It thinks I'm talking to it. Luke, I love you, buddy. It's good to see you. Whole situation is wild. Reminds me of when I was asking RTG if they were going to do an OGL or SRD. SRD is what I was trying to think. Guess I was more forward thinking than I realized. Yeah, so if I can give you guys my own personal insight on Artel Sorian's idea with this whole OGL thing, if you look at Cyberpunk 2020, there's a lot of supplements like the Knight's Edge series and what were they called? DreamPod 9, something like that. There was some other stuff with the Chrome Berets that were products that were made with the Cyberpunk 2020 IP. They were given license by Artel Saurian Games to make some stuff. And at everything all said and done, now that we look back at it, there was a lot of weird shit that they made. You know, shit that broke the game, shit that didn't really have any place in Cyberpunk, in my opinion. And it looked like official fan content is what it looked like. And some people, that I think that adds a flavor to the history of it as a whole. I think it's so cool to see these Night Edge books exploring that kind of topic. But I get it on the side of Artel Saurian if they're like, okay, well, we can't just like give it out like that willy-nilly again. You know what I mean? We got to choose who has it. We got to choose what products they make. We got to make sure that their quality is up to snuff. Their shit is balanced. And that's what they're doing with Cyberpunk Red, Night's Edge, and Jovian Chronicles. That's it. So I think that's exactly what they're doing right now. They're doing that right now. The license that they gave out is Sirenscape for the sound effects, Q Workshop for the dice, and maybe there's a couple more that I don't remember. But nobody's making supplemental books for Artel Saurian Games. They're making all their books. And they chose to do that because they wanted to make sure, well, I don't know exactly why they did that, but I would speculate that they wanted to make sure that they made all the decisions on the quality of their products and that it was in line with everything that they do, which I respect them for that. It's their business. It's their family business, by the way. It's not a big publicly traded company. It's a small family business. And they take pride in their work, and they want to make sure that it is up to snuff with the quality that they have out there. So I get that. What does that mean for the future? We don't know. We don't know. Honestly, I think that if I was Artel Saurian, I would not touch this subject at all. It is a toxic subject. You're never gonna win. You're never gonna say something that's going to please everyone. You're always gonna say something that will upset some folks. And I think the best thing to do is just say nothing and just let this happen. I don't think we're going to be seeing an open gaming license for Artel Saurian, because then they'll be in the same mess that Wizards of the Coast is in right now. And or maybe it's just too much of a headache legally to get through. So I don't know if that is something that they'll be doing in the future. I speculate that they won't. I think if anything, they will work on a person-to-person basis, company-to-company basis, work closely with them and have many stipulations when it comes to the products that they make. Just looking at the other stuff like Sirenscape, they let them have the license. Oh, and of course the miniatures. So they're like, all the things they're not doing, they're licensing out. They're not making minis, they gave it to Monster Fight Club. They're not making sound effects, they gave it to Sirenscape. They're not making dice, they gave it to Q Workshop. So anything that they're not doing, they're more willing to give the license and IP out. Video games, Cyberpunk Red, or Cyberpunk 2077. If they're not doing that stuff, then they're more willing to give the license out, is from what I can see. Again, this is all my speculation, just me talking. You know, this is not anything that I've been told from anybody from Artel Saurian. In fact, we don't talk about this kind of stuff when we chat. We just talk about the game and stuff like that, you know. Anyway, time to play Skate Wizards. The royalty part has been removed, apparently. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So that's new to me. So there's no royalties anymore. That's interesting. We'll see. Got mates that hate OGL 2.0 and some that love it. There has to be a middle ground here, right? Yeah, that's basically what they're trying to do. They're minimizing backlash. But what I can tell you guys is the OGL we know now will not exist. There's no way. It's way too open. How do I know this? Because there's so many other companies that don't have a big OGL like this. I think we're going to see a big change in the OGL and it's gonna happen no matter what. But as far as like the stipulations and the royalties and stuff like that, it might be different. Bottom line, there are much better games with much better mechanics. I don't know. I love D&D. I think it's a great game. That's Azala, fellow mod, love you. By the way, Azala, if you're still in chat, let me know if you got the game that I sent you. Let's not forget that it wasn't too long ago that Paizo was dealing with sexual harassment and insane crunch time accusations that led to workers unionizing. Thank you, Azala. Thank you. This is what I mean when I say do not back companies when they're standing on their soapbox agreeing with you that, hey, yeah, Wizards of the Coast sucks. We're not those guys. Come on. Come on in. We're not those guys. Yeah, screw those guys. What? Sexual harassment? What? Crunch time? Just forget about that. Hey, we're the good guys. We're the good guys, remember? We're talking shit about D&D. Don't worry about that stuff. Come on. It's all propaganda. Anyway, get to work. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I feel. Remember, they're companies. Nice Friday surprise. That's right, Chris. How you doing? Smartwatches aren't smart enough. DreamPod 9, blah, blah, blah. Luke, that's the kind of problem when you license something. You put your official stamp on it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like when you look at those Knight's Edge series books, you see the official stamp on it, and you're like, is this real? You know what I mean? And apparently there's these novels, these cyberpunk novels out there. I have no idea where the fuck to find them. But they're like novels that are set in the cyberpunk world. Paperback novels. Anyway. RTG also can't give out the IP due to co-ownership with CDPR. Lots of legal hurdles with that. Okay. So that, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they went into a partnership like that. That would make a lot of sense. So they can't really do something like that. RTG seems to have made some smart choices with how they treat their IP. Yeah, I think so too. I think they learned a lot of lessons from Cyberpunk 2020, and they're learning not to make the same mistakes. I put in quotes because I don't know if they're mistakes. I don't know. With the new stuff. Let's see here. There's a very bad police supplement for 2020 that has some very weird politics in it. I'm glad Telsorian is being more careful now. I don't know which one that is. Wow. I still would appreciate more Homebrew to be formatted as a semi-official book. Makes it easier to pitch for players. Yeah, it would be interesting if they were like, this is a Homebrew division. This is not canon. It is not an official product. This is part of our Homebrew community-driven content. That way, when I open the book and I'm like, they did what with Texas? They did what with New York? Arasaka does what? I can remember, oh yeah, on the first page it says this is not canon, it's homebrew content, so, you know, I don't have to write an angry letter to our Telsorian games. What's up, Blank? Good to see you. Hero Games has tons of different games using their engine. Oh, interesting. My group used your content to learn Cyberpunk. Our GM as a media, medtech, and netrunner. I appreciate your work, especially our group, since we are visually impaired. By the way, I'm the medtech. Good to hear, Region Vampires. Thank you so much for supporting. I really appreciate it. Sounds like you guys are having a great time. And I wish you nothing but happiness and success. Oh, you got it. Okay, good, Az. I'm glad you got it. Let me know if you like it, because I didn't. They're probably making the right choice because of the investment costs and risk associated with those ventures. Yeah, if you're talking about Telsorian, I agree. Both companies think orcs are analogous of black people. Dude, what are you talking about? I love D&D too. That's what makes me sad about all this. Yeah, me too. I love D&D. I actually really, really love D&D. I have 2 of them, and they're pretty good. Nothing as serious as Gibson, but a very fun read. Oh, nice. You have the 2 books, the novels. I don't know where to find them. I guess I got to find them used on eBay somewhere. I don't know. I'm sorry I spammed chat for a bit, but also thank you for your content. You did not spam chat. You gave us additional stuff and helped the conversation. I really appreciate it. Your content helped me understand the system and get the confidence to start GMing. My first session is tomorrow. Wow. Nice. Can't wait to hear all about it. Make sure you let us know. Happy gaming. What are those books called? Ravengers and Hollow Man. I'll send them to you, John. Oh shit, really? You have them? Dude, I've seen them somewhere. I got them as gifts. I think they were third-party seller on Amazon. Okay, well, if they're out there, I'll get them as. I just haven't really looked that hard. I just assume that they're impossible to find. But I heard that they're okay at best. And that's part of the whole licensing thing. I don't think Talsorian actually wrote those novels. Somebody else did, and they just gave him the IP. So anyway, I caught up with chat. So but are coming. They're gonna be big. They're happening no matter what. And basically, there's nothing we can really do about it other than to look at these top content creators that are out there, like Critical Role, Dimension 20, and they are basically the leaders in the OGL hype. You know what I mean? Their silence should tell you a lot. Their silence should tell you that they are patiently waiting. They don't want to make any rash decisions. They're not touching it. It's toxic. Nobody wants to touch it. If you're involved, you don't want to touch it. You don't want the community to hate you. All right? And no matter what you say, they're going to hate you right now. If you're like, listen, guys, it's not as bad as you think. Oh, man, canceled. Canceled. Okay? We don't want your logic and rhetoric over here. All right? We're hating on D&D right now. So let's hate on D&D for a little bit. And then once we get tired of the hatred or something else takes its place, then we can have a conversation. I'll hit you up with links in your DMs. They aren't very good. Yeah, I figured that they weren't going to be good. Just repeating things that came from both Wizard of the Coast and Paizo. Okay. Good luck with your first session, Soul. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, they actually did a good job sticking to the lore and fleshing things out a bit in Night City. They did use a few characters from the source books that only had little blurbs. Oh, cool. That's a great way to do it. I actually enjoy that. That's what I did. That's what I did for my homebrew setting. Oh, well, bringing it back to me, guys. I just I basically have been toying with the idea of making content for Cyberpunk Red. I've been thinking about making a world book. I'm sure you guys have heard me say that before. Ultimately, I decided not to make content for Cyberpunk. Raven, good to see you. I'm doing well. Thank you. Happy New Year. Ultimately, I didn't make any content. I haven't made any content available for Cyberpunk Red for sale or even for free because of obviously they don't have an OGL. I would have to like straight up go to them and say, hey, this is what I want to do. What can I do? Can I sell it? Can I not sell it? And then they have to give me an answer. And that's all I can go off of. It's like person to person email, which is, I think, what Critical Role in Wizards of the Coast is going through right now. They're talking interpersonal, hey, let's put that OGL stuff aside. What does this mean for me and you? And so if I'm going to release a product, it would have to be free. Okay. And if it's going to be free, then I have to spend all the money on it. I have to spend, and I would want to spend money on it. So let me tell you guys, like, from the moment I created my channel to now, you guys can obviously see a quality change, right? You can see that my videos have better quality. You can see that things have changed in my videos. I'm always trying to do better, and I have a minimum standard of quality. And that's no different for a product that I release. If I release a product and it's a book or a supplement, I want you guys to expect that it's going to be a top quality product. I don't want it to be a Word document, you know what I mean? And basically, like, it was free, this is all you get, you know what I mean? So then that leaves me with the idea that, like, okay, well, if I'm going to make it and it's free, then I have to spend money on it. I have to hire an artist, pay him fairly. I have to hire a designer, pay him fairly. I have to hire an editor, pay them fairly. Okay? I'm about paying people fairly, okay? I'm sure there's other people out there that work for exposure or or something like that. I have to make a fair agreement with the people that I work with, because that's just me, period. Personally, that's just who I am, period. So that would mean that if I'm releasing a supplement, it's going to be top quality or at the quality that I'm satisfied with, and the people that are involved with it are compensated. If it's a free product, that means I completely sank all my money into it and got nothing back in return other than maybe a little bit exposure, maybe, who knows, maybe it blows up and people out there are like, oh, this is great, let's go to his YouTube, let's go to his Patreon, and somehow it trickles down into giving me some kind of gain. But if honestly, if I were able to make money with the content that I'm creating, I would just funnel that money to other people. I would just give it to, like, oh, hey, I'm making enough money where I can hire an artist, so let's do it. I'm making enough money to hire an editor, so let's do it. But if I'm not making enough money to do all those things, then I'm not going to do it. And that's the situation I'm in right now. That's the situation most people are in with most games. Uh, you know, that's why this whole OGL thing changing does not come as a surprise to me, because nobody else is really doing it the way D&D had been doing it. So for it to be changing like this, I understand the community backlash. It's well deserved, but also we got to be a little bit realistic that, you know, it's got to be changed. It's just logically it's going to be changed. Speaking of your homebrew, you should absolutely do that. Yeah, I know. I just talked about that. It'd have to be free or officially licensed. Yeah, exactly. So it would most likely just be free. It's not going to be officially licensed. I don't think that they would have give me an official license, because unless it's some kind of modified license or some kind of, you know, like you can release it, but if you make it over a certain amount of money, then, you know, I don't know. Some kind of stipulations have to be there. You know what I mean? But otherwise, it has to be free, and then the quality would have to be free, basically. After DreamPod 9 had success with JC and Knight's Edge, they created their own game, hence Heavy Gear. Oh, I didn't know that. It's Cyberpunk. Just hire an AI. I'm kidding. That's good of you. Yeah, I thought about that too, is hiring an AI. We could talk about AI as well. I'll talk about that in a second. I honestly have the opposite view when it comes to quality. I'm an author and I write trash. I want to write trash. Don't want to be big. I want my stuff in dollar bargain bins. Hey man, I'm with you on that. I get that. You have your standards. So let's talk about AI artwork. I am a proponent of AI artwork. I like AI artwork. I like AI chatbots. I think it's a technology that's coming, and I think anybody that is against these technologies emerging are the same kind of people that were upset when the newspaper was being created. They said, you know, there was literally an ad I saw from back in the day that said newspapers are sucking the life out of people, that it's wasting time when they could be doing other things or sitting down and reading, right? So I think it's along the same lines as that, except we're talking about people that are already starving artists, literally artists. They already had it hard enough. They didn't need another kick in the nuts with AI artwork, basically. And the biggest insult of it all is it's taking original artwork and modifying it. So it's like you're taking people's art, you're modifying it, you're selling it, you're putting it in competitions, and you're making money, and they're making zilch. So there is definitely a lot of unethical shit going on with AI. And that's where it is. It basically, where I stand on this officially with AI is, if it's for personal use, then I don't see anything wrong with it. If you can prove without a shadow of a doubt that the AI bot that you use did not derive artwork that was not royalty free, so basically it derived artwork that you could, if you could prove to me that the artwork that it derives from was all free artwork, then it is ethical, right? It was given out for free. You could do whatever you want with it, but it has to be completely royalty free. But I don't think anybody can do that. I'm pretty sure all of the bots are taking proprietary artwork and changing them. So if it's for personal use, I think there's nothing wrong with it. If you're not, as long as you're not making money with it. If you're making money with it and you're selling it and you're doing stuff like that, obviously, I think it's unethical. I think it's completely unethical. Um, will that change what's going on in the future? I don't know. I don't know if our copyright laws are really weird in this country. They're bad in some senses and good in others. But I think that this is a very careful thing that you need to be very careful about. There's already folks out there making books and stuff using AI artwork, and they just like hopped on it. Chat GPT, AI artwork. They're like, yep, let's do it. And for me, I'm like, man, you're so quick to do that. You know what I mean? You're not even like waiting to see if like this is a good idea, if it's ethical or not. And I've seen a lot of artist friends of mine, post no AI with the big red circle and the line across it, no AI. And I don't agree with that either. This is an emerging technology. I think it's anytime an emerging technology like this comes around, if you don't embrace it, you'll be left behind. But I empathize completely with these artists that have basically made it their livelihood to be artists. And for them, you had me in the first half. But I think I think these artists have worked really hard to get to where they are, and they already have it really hard and difficult for you to kick them in the nuts when they're down. And basically, I mean, you can literally put in the artwork, make me this in the style of Frank Frazetta. And it's like, dude, you're literally just saying copy him and then you're going to sell it. You know what I mean? You don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, period? You don't think there's anything wrong with that? Don't tell me like, oh, it's transformative. You literally put in the description, like this artist. You know what I mean? And it comes out looking exactly like this artist because the AI doesn't know how to interpret things the way humans do. We get inspired by somebody and then we make our own art. The AI is like, make it as close to it as possible. That's just copying. That's not inspiration. That's literally copying. So, like I said, personal use, I think there's nothing wrong with it. I recently have been trying to make battle maps with AI. I've been doing it since day one because I thought, man, it would be so cool if I can make a battle map with the AI. And the only success I have found is an unethical success. You feed it a current, so you can take like images and feed it to the bot, and you go like, hey, take this image as a reference point and make something new. So that's what I had to do with battle maps, and I was able to make some like okay battle maps with it. And then I realized like, man, this is unethical. If I wanted to, I could sell this on DriveThruRPG right now. I could go there, I could upload it, and I could sell it and make money from it. But I literally fed it a battle map from another artist for it to work. So that's completely unethical. Will anybody know? Probably not. Even the artist wouldn't know that I did that, but I know I did that. And it's unethical. I don't like it. All right, let me catch up with chat a little bit. Here we go. All right, this is from Leo. Leo, for you guys that don't know, Leonam von Borowski, that's in chat, has made the official artwork for the Netrunner cards for Cyberpunk Red. If you guys have those Netrunner cards, the deck that has all the Netrunner programs, Leonam did the artwork for that. He also did the artwork for my Under the Crimson Sky. I commissioned his work for the characters that you guys see there. So let's see what Leo says. From my point of view, the bigger issue with AI is automation. On our current system, it can only lower living standards due to increased unhealthy work field. As you said, artists are already starving. Automation on a system where people already have housing plus food won't have a negative effect, only in culture maybe, and it will depend on your perspective. Yeah, I can agree with that. Automation, the problem with AI automation is it's coming at such a rapid pace that we haven't put things in place to adapt to it yet. Most people don't even know about its existence. So, and that's what's scary about it, is it's like people don't know about its existence, including art competitions. don't know about its existence because somebody won an art competition with AI art. Anybody who's willing to submit AI artwork to an art competition is a piece of shit. That's all I got to say about them. You know what you did. You know you didn't paint that. You know that you're going up against all these other artists that painted it, and you knowingly did that anyway. You're a piece of shit. You know, unless it was a social, even if it was a social experiment, you're still a piece of shit for doing that. Basically, never put art on Twitter or Facebook. You immediately lose all control over the piece. All right. As an artist, you had me in the first. Oh yeah, we read that. There are people that are registering and trademarking their AI art parameters so no one can copy their AI art directions. That might be the way to do it. That might be the way to do it, Bronx. It would be interesting to make battle maps using AI and Google Maps, like taking the actual city streets and giving it a cyberpunk makeover. Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that. I'm gonna give that a shot. That doesn't seem unethical. I don't think Google's gonna hurt from their satellite photos. But then again, when you feed it into the machine, it spits out something deriving from content. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good to catch up with you too. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's still gonna pull assets from known artists. But you know, it's such a gray area because it's like if it takes 5% from your artwork and 5% from that guy's artwork and 5% from that guy's artwork and makes one product, you know, do we owe all those people 5%? I mean, logically, we would say yes, but practically, that's so hard to prove anyway. You know, like, unless the AI could definitely tell you, maybe you could program the AI to be like, hey, all the stuff that you found, like the percentage, let me know who got, like, what percentage of what you use, and then we'll distribute it that way. You know what I mean? Who knows? They're not even Google satellite photos, those are government photos. Oh, interesting. Are you and Binary still working on Under the Crimson Sky? Yeah, we are. The game is on hiatus right now because we cannot. So originally we were filming in Binary's apartment, but he got a roommate, so that room that we were using is no longer available. So now we're looking for a place. You know, the problem is that Under the Crimson Sky is a what do you guys call a passion project. It's not making any money. It's not one of my top viewed content. People on my channel, the people like it. There's folks that like Under the Crimson Sky. They wait and they listen to it and they follow along and they love it. But it's not one of my top content creation things out there. I'm not really making any money on it, so I'm just spending money. Just like the whole creating books thing that I was talking about. And so I don't have the capital to sink into something that isn't, you know, returning all that much back. I could try to grind and do it even better. But, you know, it doesn't mean I'm giving up. It just means that I just have to find a place that I'll be able to film and for it to not cost as much. You know what I mean? Like, we've been having audio issues because we don't have the audio equipment. We've been having video issues because we don't have all the video equipment that we need. So, you know, we're just doing what we can to make it work. So I haven't given up on it. I'm just, it's just not my top priority right now. Please, someone is busy with another production. Oh, plus someone is busy with another production. Yeah, no, Dustin is doing an amazing job with infinite sided dice. And he joined my game, and I think he got inspired from our game to make his own. And he's doing such an amazing job. I mean, the quality of that show is so high. They deserve more respect and subs and all that. You know, it's a crazy adventure that they're on right now. And I wish them nothing but the best. So yeah, it's tough. Even just looking at what they're doing, I'm like, well, if I want to duplicate that, I got to put a lot of effort into it. Blank says, just thinking out loud here, but you could ask for donations for Sourcebook. Sorry to wheel back to a previous topic. No, that's fine. Unfortunately, I don't think I can take donations. I can't crowdsource because at the end of the day, it's money in, product out. You know what I mean? And that's like a gray area. I'm already in a gray area with content creation. If you think about it, I'm using the Cyberpunk Red intellectual property to make money from my YouTube channel. Whether it's a lot enough, and my Patreon. Yeah, I'm almost done, babe. I'll call you. Whether it's enough money, it's a lot of money or a little money, it means nothing. The fact is that I'm using the Cyberpunk Red IP to make monetary gain. But what am I? But I think that once again, Artel Sorian is looking at it from a different perspective. They're like, yeah, the guy's making money, but he's bringing us business as well, and he's helping our community. So we have no problem with that. Actually, we encourage it. So if he's making a little bit of money for his operations, it's fine, as long as he's bringing in people into our community. Everybody wins, you know. But if I'm making books, I'm in direct competition with Artel Sorian Games because that's what they do. They make books. So if I decide to make books and my book is making money, now I'm direct competition with the community that has been assisting me in my other endeavors and basically allowing me to do the other endeavors that I'm doing. Could they copyright claim my videos? I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't think they could legally, but I think they still could do it anyway. But I don't think they would. There's no way that they would, because we have a great relationship. I don't think they have any interest in doing anything like that. And you know, it's been good. I respect their IP. I respect their decisions, and we work really well together. So, anyway, so that's that. Yeah, they're good folks there. Yeah, you'd have to release a source book for free, then ask for donations after. Yes, I don't even think I can do that. I don't think I could release it for free. I don't think I could do pay what you want. I think that's the best bet. Like that's like as good as it gets. I could do pay what you want, which means that people could get it for free or they could pay for it. But even then, it's another gray area. I don't know if they would allow it, to be honest with you. So yeah, I can't do that either. Like big Skyrim modders. Yeah, Javier, correct. There's Skyrim modders out there that make really amazing modded content for Skyrim. That's why people still play Skyrim to this day, is because of the modding community, period. And it's also an amazing game. But going back to Skyrim, installing all those mods and playing it, I've been through that loop many times. And those creators allow donations. They encourage donations. The website encourages that you donate. And Bethesda has not gone after them. They tried to do like a creation club kind of thing. They got backlash from the community, and they realized like, okay, we can't touch this. It's toxic. Like we already have enough toxicity. We don't need people hating us because we're ruining the modding scene now. They almost did, by the way. They almost did. They almost did ruin the modding community. So, but do they have every right to be like, hey, you can't take money using our game? Yeah, they have the right to do that. You know what I mean? Does it benefit them? I don't think so, but they have the right to do it. So, worst case scenario is they bring you in as a writer on future content like a DLC or an adventure. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to do that. To come on board and work with them in that kind of capacity. I think it would be great. I would love to do it. A friend told me White Wolf takes 50% of the story vault books. Oof. 50% is a huge number. OOG, a community collaboration source book. Oh, ooh, a community collaboration source book. There's an idea. Yeah. Maybe if they had like a community corner or community releases kind of thing going on, we might see stuff like that. You know what I mean? All right, guys. It's been an hour. We've had a lot of great conversations. This was fun. I enjoyed talking to you all. I hope that our conversations about OGL have given you guys insight. I think that there was a lot of positive talk going on. I want to wish you all nothing but success and happiness. Thank you all for supporting me so much. I really, really, really appreciate the support and the positivity. And my 3D printing is going great. I got a new printer. I broke the other one, but I'll talk about that some other time. But anyway, it's been a wild ride. I love it. There, just as Doran Connell just said right now, the RTG Discord has good community for Homebrew. So does our Discord community. The link is in the description below. There's content out there. There's free Homebrew content out there. So don't worry, it's out there. People are still making it. We love this game. I'll continue to make content for this game, and we'll see what the future holds. We never know. As far as D&D goes, my final thoughts are, yeah, the OGL is going to change. It's not going to be beneficial to the consumer, but it's going to be a business decision that will hurt them in the long run because we're not going to see any more critical roles. There isn't going to be anything like that emerging from D&D because of the new OGL. That's my prediction, and it's sad, to be honest with you, but you know, it's just a cold-hearted business decision. So it is what it is. Leave D&D behind. Play alternatives. No, I mean, if you love D&D, D&D 5e is still there. There's a plethora of content. If the new one comes out and you don't want to support it, that's fine. You can play thousands of hours of D&D 5e, 4e, 3.5, Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk 2013, Cyberpunk 3.0, whatever, Cyber Generation. All these games you can still play to this day. They're not gone. They're still there. They're still available for purchase. And you can have hundreds of hours of fun with that content. So, you know, do what you don't focus on the negativity. And we'll chat soon. Okay, guys? Thank you. Take care. Happy gaming. Love you all.